to have the.
Okay, go ahead.
So you can get in there and scrape it out with a solid
Alderman,
floor.
that's just for clarification for the record. If you would add this to your motion, I think we could add it to section I on page 36. We could say that all settling ponds not used for the retention of stormwater in which may contain polyacrylamide shall be cement lined.
Oh, okay, that's where it should go then, huh? Settling ponds and closed loop systems, is that correct, Chris?
Correct.
We could add it in there then?
Correct.
Okay. So how would you state that? You would just, that any pond that has an polyacrylamide in it should be lined by cement?
Settling ponds not used for stormwater in which may contain polyacrylamide shall be cement lined.
I like it.
When our water expert came up and we did the analysis or the example of the milk, the gasoline, and the polyacrylamides, I think it's a standard that's beyond what's even necessary. We have more runoff of residents driving and doing oil changes and everything else than what you're going to have from a polyacrylamide that number one is food grade, number two is used in water treatment facilities, and number three has a half-life where it disappears fully between 48 and 72 hours. I think you're yelling at a demon that ain't there.
Well, it could be something that might loom its head at a later date, but it's a simple thing to state that right here and just make sure that it's done right. So I wish to add that. Let's see. Okay, on page 33, all equipment used in the operation shall be constructed, maintained, and operated in such a manner as to minimize, as far as practical, dust conditions. Who determines that? That's just a question I had about that. For instance, you got fugitive dust that kind of sneaks off a truck, and when you're driving and all that sort of thing, when you're loading and all that sort of thing. So, who determines that? Who watches over that?
That's MSHA regulated, isn't it?
MSHA and also the zoning administrator, if there's specific conditions put in the conditional use permit, can enforce that. But as far as actual particulate matter, there are air quality monitors that are in place. So this is just sort of on top of that.
So in other words, there's somebody that's monitoring some meter of some sort, and
Correct.
also eyeballing probably.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
So that's understood instead of in here, okay? Right. And we talked about now blasting notification, interesting enough. It does talk about distances is there. Going on to page 38, where it talks about blasting log. The permit holder should maintain an accurate and complete blasting log. Okay, then it's got these items on here: name and license number, blast location, weather conditions, and hole depth, and all that sort of thing. That was interesting when we were out with you, Chad. That was a discussion that was really kind of neat. But I would like to add to that list, number 10, a list of who was notified and date notified, because they talk about notifying people that are in the area, the neighbors and all this sort of thing, but it doesn't list it in the log. So I think that it's important that it be listed in the log. Number 10, list of who was notified and date notified. Got it?
Got it.
Okay. All right. Okay, and permit expiration on 39. We're getting there, people.
Okay, we're going to take a 2-minute recess. I'm going to ask him to walk away from this noise. If you guys could hold, please.
Before Roger comes up and calls me.
And it's very,
It's improper.
Sliver?
I mean, you guys have got,
Mr. Feltus has returned. Go ahead, Mr. Fetch.
Okay, moving down to permit expiration on page 39. Permit expiration, maybe after you go to the next page, it will answer my question, but I want everybody to understand what would the permit expiration, why it would happen. Conditional use permit shall expire as a result of a period of non-use. I was wondering what non-use means, but if you turn the page, to page 40, it says, non-use of the site or suspension of the operation shall be considered to have occurred when no processing or extraction occurs on a given day. So that would be written up in a log, is that correct, Chris?
They written up in law or just observed.
Okay. Is one shovel full of sand moved, is that still,
It's something, it's part of processing the operation, so.
who monitors that? That's the zoning administrator and all that sort of thing, looking at the logs, okay? Okay, this is kind of, we talked about this before, but permit holders shall be required to rinse the tires of all vehicles leaving the site, so as to reduce the amount of sand and other material leaving the site. Did that happen, Chad?
I'm sorry, I was reading the response to Chris's question regarding the strobe lights. OSHA allows it, but MSHA does not. Strobe lights. And so, okay, repeat that question, please. Sorry.
I was just kind of wondering, if this permit holder shall be required to rinse the tires of all vehicles leaving the site so as to reduce the amount of sand and other material leaving the site.
That's far reaching. We have blacktop our roads, so most of our sand trucks that are hauling product are staying on blacktop, so there would be no need to wash a tire. You don't wash a tire when you go down Main Street.
So is this kind of the number of
Every site,
seven?
it's site specific. It's site specific. If you see a need for it, maybe.
Oh,
If
okay.
not, you
So it
don't.
might be a good idea to leave that in there then.
it says shall be required.
And it says shall be required too to rinse the tires.
Yes, but they don't have to rinse them just to rinse them. It says so as to reduce. Let's read the whole thing, not just take one thing out of context. Let's read the whole sentence.
I did. Forever shall be required to rinse the tires of all vehicles leaving the site so as to reduce the amount of sand. That's it.
Yeah, so if they have blacktop and they don't have sand on the tires, there's no need to rinse it.
That's
Actually, like,
matter
interject as
of opinion.
city attorney. The way it's drafted is, it shall be required, so they have to rinse them. The purpose being to reduce dust. Now, Mississippi Sand currently isn't subject to this restriction because they're operating under the old ordinance.
All right. So we leave that in there.
Well, we should probably say may then because it's site specific.
Should we put in may instead of shall then, or?
May?
If it's
Okay.
specific, then that'll be may.
See, John, one comment I have to make is that has to be made because there's times of year you spray them trucks with water and you bring ice out on the road, you can't be doing that. That just wouldn't make sense. So it should say may, not shall, because there's times of year you just can't do that.
Alderman Fetch, which page, what's the section, is this 40? Under streets?
We should make sure your motion says that shall should become may. 'Cause I think it's just may, then. If you're okay with that one. You have to
Can I?
Please go.
Okay, moving on to page 45. The review of the process of application. Just above that, notification of landowners and interested parties. And in the last sentence, applicant shall also provide notice to the common council of the city. Finally, notification should be provided to the city website. I just thought it might be a good idea. It says website, people can Google it and all that sort of thing, but I thought it might be nice if we had it right in there. I don't think our website's gonna change, so can we just add in cityofArcadia.Wisconsin.com?
Well, if the website does change, or if we decide to go with some different server or something, then we'd have to amend our ordinance. I think it's easier to just leave it as is.
Don't you think anybody that really is gonna use a website would know that?
Maybe, yeah.
I'm
That's
not
a
a
lot
computer
easier.
person.
That's just a
but I
thought,
would think so.
that's just a thought.
Well, it would be like saying, please notify City Hall, and to notify City Hall, please look their telephone number up in the telephone book.
So what does legal counsel think of that? No? Just leave
I
it?
think we can leave it as City of Arcadia website, I mean,
Okay.
it may change, probably not, but.
That's what I was thinking too, but, all right. Well, that is, believe it or not, I made it to the end. Mine. Unless there's somebody else.
Any other council members?
I have a question for Alderman Sensala.
Alderman Sensala, Ms. Colstead has a question for you.
Do you have a draft of ordinance 138 with you to refer to before voting?
She's asked. Sorry.
Not on me.
Thank you.
Did you participate in any of the meetings where we helped draft this language for public comment and helped create the document? So you've done your due diligence in the process for creating it as well as having read it?
Right.
Thank you for that. Other council members? Okay, right now there's a motion on the floor by Feltus, seconded by Sensala to approve the ordinance as presented. Alderman Fetch is offering amendments. Mr. Feltus, do you so amend your original motion?
No, I don't.
Mr. Sensala, do you amend your second?
I would like to leave it as was.
Can I beg of you guys that there's one thing in here that talks about washing the tires where it said shall, that we change that to may wash the tires. Would you so amend your motion to indicate that change from shall to may?
That's fine.
Mr. Feltus said that's fine. Is that okay with you, Mr. Sensala?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let the record show that they've amended their motion to change that section about washing the tires. I don't have the page number, but Chris, you know where we're talking about?
Page 45.
Okay. So it would say permit holder may be required to rinse the tires. Any other comments from council members? Yeah. Well, Mr. Fetch is saying it's page 42, but wherever it is, it's probably in both sections of agriculture and industrial, so we'll make sure that it has the same verbiage in both sections. Anything else, Bob? Hearing nothing else, I'm calling for a vote, Phil.
State the motion.
Motion by Feltus, seconded by Sensala to approve ordinance 138, which is in front of you as presented with the sole change.
138, yes.
Okay, with the sole change being permit holder shall be required to rinse the tires of all vehicles leaving the site so as to reduce the amount of sand and other material leaving the site. That will be changed from shall to may. So the final version approved by the council would say permit holder may be required to rinse the tires of all vehicles leaving the site so as to reduce the amount of sand and other materials leaving the site. Is that your motion and your second?
Yeah.
Is that your second, Mr. Sensala?
Yes.
Mr. Chang?
Marlos Kolstad,
No.
Todd Fetch,
No.
Fritz Conrad,
Yes.
Joe Feltus,
Yes.
Bob Wasney,
No.
Mr.
Dan-
Sensala, how
Dan
do you
Sensala.
vote?
Yes.
I'm not a mathematician, nor do I have a degree in it, but by my count, that sounds like a 3-3 tie bill.
It is.
And let's put ordinance 138 amendment on the books. I'm saying yes to that, and I'll sign it when Mrs. Berg is around to attest. Did you hear that, Mr. Sensala?
Yes, I did.
Thank you. Has everybody from the audience heard that?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, next we have on the agenda, Pro Colors invoice to restore the F-16 aircraft.
Mayor, you can adjourn the planning
I'm
commission.
sorry. Mr. Sensala, we are going to adjourn the planning commission. The mayor is going to make a motion to adjourn the planning commission. Seconded by Feltus, and a vote whenever you're ready on that, please.
Well, who motioned that?
I didn't.
Second. Mayor Kimmel,
Yes.
Joe Felton, Gary Bout, Roger Reckline.
Sensala, the planning commission has so adjourned. Next we have on the agenda a Pro Colors invoice to restore the F-16 aircraft. Last month we had the F-16 aircraft restored at an invoice of $17,000. I have that invoice in front of me.
And it's not there, Mayor.
Oh, do you have it?
I don't have it.
Okay. Sensala, I'm sorry for a second. I'm gonna have to bring this invoice up on my email. Can I let you go and call you back?
Yep, that's fine.
Thank you. Well, hey, I don't have to let you go. Are you there?
Yep, still here.
Okay, I figured out how to get into my email while I'm on the phone. There we go. Eva, while my email is loading up, thank you for your patience in getting here tonight. It takes a while to learn it all. Okay, the invoice is to Pro Colors out of Sebring, Florida. It is restoration of F-16 static display aircraft. I believe that includes the mount as well as the unit itself. Quantity 1 at a unit cost of $17,000 US. The client, City of Arcadia, invoice number 0000002. Invoice date August 11, 2015. Amount due $17,000.
So moved.
Not so much second.
We can't talk about it then. We have to move on. One second.
I'm a pretty patient guy. I'm sure they're what they want. It'd be a great discussion to have.
I think we want to discuss it.
Mr. Sensala?
Yeah?
Mr. Conrad made a motion for this Pro Colors out of Florida who did the restoration of the F-16 jet in the park.
And that's done already?
That's done. The invoice date is August the 11th. And you ought to see it. It's beautiful.
What's painted already
Leave
too?
it going up there.
I think that'd be a great thing. There's a motion on the floor right now, but a lack of a second, in case any of the council members are interested in making a second.
I'll second that motion.
Been a motion by Conrad, seconded by Sensala for the approval of this invoice. And as you know, in the past, when we talk about invoices, anything that's not usual business, it's listed separately on the agenda, and that's why it's so noted on the agenda. Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah. Who authorized it?
I did.
Did we get any bids?
No,
Why not?
because it was
I know it needs to be done, but this is $17,000, and, I know it's,
Where's the money coming from?
Did the guy paying for it not want to?
Close the door.
oh, I'm sorry, Fritz. This is a pass-through donation from Ron at Ashley Furniture. The invoice just came to the city of Arcadia.
Okay, I understand that, but we should at least be notified of it.
Okay. Well,
Of what? Of doing it?
Well, that he's donating it and we're doing it so that
well, I
when
will.
something like this comes up, we know.
I wouldn't characterize it as not having been notified. We are under contract with the Department of Military for not only housing and taking care, but restoring and having visuals with pictures and reports where we submit annually. And it's part of our ongoing agreement with the Department of the Military, the Army, I believe it is, Bill?
I think it's like National Museum or something like
Okay,
that.
where they, where we're under contract to maintain that, and it came time to be maintained, and it's something that we're under contract to do, and Ron offered to donate the entire amount for it. So it's, again, no tax dollars going to this, and,
so we didn't pay for it.
well, we're paying the invoice, and he's giving us the check.
We're gonna pay him to get reimbursed.
Oh, okay.
So God bless him for that, and I'm gonna have a letter for us to sign too.
And in discussion, I think there should be a nice thank you given to the Wanek family. Because if, here's another case of where industry, how would we ever afford to take care of something like that?
And we don't only have the F-16, we've got 2 howitzers up there, we've got all those monuments.
What's it?
The howitzers are up by the General's
It's a big
Overlook.
cannon.
They're about yay big around, and how long, as long as the table, I think.
Is that one?
And then we've got the tank on the west end of the park, so.
Dave, you know what they make, sign those houses, right?
I know how they end on the other end.
Something should be nice to, just to tell us that, hey, we're doing this and run.
Remember the ones on the tanks? 600?
Any other discussion?
Yes, Mayor Kilmo, I just think it would have been, if nothing else, a courtesy to inform the council about this. Because I had people actually call me today and said, what's this $17,000 invoice for that? And I had no idea.
Did you call me after you got called?
No, I did not.
I didn't think so.
We'll
accept a vote on this bill.
To approve and pay the
Yes.
bill. Okay. Marlis Colstead?
Could I have that motion repeated, please?
I make a motion that we, pay the bill and send the Wanek family a thank you.
Can somehow it be stated in there that the Waneks have paid for it, or so that there is not some question from our constituents that we're spending $17,000?
That's the donation for the painting of the F-16? Is that how you?
Well, does that make sense to you?
After we climb out of the rabbit hole, let's remember the letter that was, no, I'm saying this. I'm defending myself because I'm saying, why wasn't I told? Every one of these council members signed a letter dated in August thanking them for the donation of taking care of those units. Everybody knew about this. The only thing is that we just got the invoice. It said
Did it say aircraft?
and howitzers.
I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, I don't remember what it said.
It was put into a letter and I asked everybody to sign it, and everybody did sign it, thanking them for their donation. I not only made everybody aware of it, if you didn't read the letter, I'm not gonna read it to you. I gave the letter, I put the spot in there for you to sign, and everybody signed that letter thanking them for that.
Twice.
Yes, twice, because there was a mistake on one. Everybody was notified. And so I am defending that.
All right, moving on.
I'll take a vote on this, please. You were at Colstead, Bill.
Marlis Colstead.
Yes.
Todd Fetch.
Yes.
Fritz Conrad.
Yes.
Joe Feltus.
Yes.
Bob Wesley.
Yes.
Dan Sensala.
Stole it from me, I apologize.
You still have Dan on?
Huh?
Sliver.
Sensala, we're voting to approve that, and right now, 5 people have voted.
Yes.
And thank you for sending the letter yourself to him. Okay, next week, huh?
What was your statement personally, I guess I never did hear.
You signed it in the wrong spot. I didn't want to say it publicly. You're back on speakerphone now.
Let's switch out the CD quickly here.
Okay.